listening to Best Served Cold, a Born Millennials podcast, the Australian true crime podcast where we drink wine and talk about crime.
Formerly Egypt's 36th most popular true crime podcast, hosted by Tama J and Laura Elise.
Sit down, relax, grab a drink, and enjoy this week's episode.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to On the Rocks.
Welcome.
Little short mini episode at the end of the week to round things off for you guys.
Just a nice little sidecar, little shooter, little shot to
it's time to
kick
celebrate.
Your weekend off.
Have a little drink. We're joined, special guest. We have Pi with us.
I was like, who's the special guest?
We did have Toffee 2 seconds ago, and she pissed off
away
because I wouldn't pat her. But we are joined by the big, fluffy,
Big
black
Chungus.
and white, Big Chungus.
He's come to say hello.
Hello, mate.
But yeah, welcome to an episode of On the Rocks. So if you're new around here, each Friday we do a shorter episode where we cover cases that may not have necessarily received as much press coverage, so i.e. there's not as much information to discuss, or just kind of cases where it was a one-off crime, so there's maybe not as much info to kind of pad out a whole 30-minute discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tama, would you like to kick us off today?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it. So I am talking about a TikToker, actually. His name is Ali Abulaban, who goes by the name of JinnKid on TikTok. He has over 940,000 followers on TikTok. So not an unknown person, a pretty well-known guy. How I actually found out about this person is ages ago. Their content mostly consists of like doing characters or like impressions, funny sort of things. Their most popular thing is impersonations of NPCs from the game Skyrim. Mm-hmm. NPC is a non-playable character. They're like characters you interact with as a player. In the game, because it's a really kind of an old game, there's this kind of goofy thing where like the NPCs will, on approaching them, they'll talk to you. They'll have a line of dialogue.
Yeah.
And they're just doing random things like eating a block of cheese, or they'll be like sitting down and then sit back up.
Yeah.
And then sit back down. So his content would be like doing that, and it'd be like Skyrim IRL POV kind of thing. Mm. He did that as well as impersonations of Scarface, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Tekashi 6ix9ine. He also has a YouTube channel, which is where I found him from his YouTube videos, which has over 170 subscribers. So basically, Ali is 29, and he was married to his wife, Anna, who is 28 and also has a TikTok. Recently, or somewhat recently, Anna wanted a divorce from Ali, and on October 18th, she asked him to move out of their apartment in San Diego. Now, together they have a daughter, and I think on that day, Ali moved out and checked into a hotel on October 18th, the same day that she asked him to move out. So, supposedly back in September, Anna had called the police due to Ali pushing her over and hurting her, and this wasn't the only time that he was violent against her, apparently. And as a restraining order was never filed, that we know of, she was supposedly in the works of filing one around the time she was working on this divorce. So Ali checks into a hotel in Mission Beach, and without Anna's knowledge, he secretly has another key for the apartment. So red flag already.
Oh yeah.
He soon begins stalking Anna, and he eventually breaks back into their apartment on October 21st, or a couple of days later. While he's there, he vandalizes the home and installs an app onto his daughter's iPad that allows him to remotely listen in to the iPad, which
creepy.
We're not going
super creepy.
This is not going well so far. The afternoon, he goes back home, or back to his hotel rather, and he hears voices through the app. He makes out the voice of his wife, and she is conversing and laughing with a man that she doesn't recognize. So soon after hearing this, he returns back to the apartment, this time with a loaded gun. The man who was with Anna was her friend Rayburn Cardenas Baron, and he was aged 29. Ali enters the apartment and shoots Baron 3 times, once in the neck, one in his cheek, and one in his back. After killing Baron, he turns to Anna and shoots her once in the head. Ali then drove his 5-year-old daughter's to his 5-year-old daughter's school and told her that he had, quote, hurt mum. He then called his own mother and confessed fully to both of the murders. And while he was driving with his daughter in the car, he actually called police, and supposedly this is where he confessed his crimes to them as well. And about 45 minutes later, he pulled over to the side of State Route 15 and the police arrested him. His daughter was taken into protective custody, and despite all of this, despite confessing to his mother and supposedly confessing to police, he has maintained that he is not guilty to any of the charges.
Jesus, are you serious?
Yeah, legit. Yep. He's currently being held without bail on at San Diego Central Jail, and if he's found guilty, he faces life in prison with no chance of parole. Supposedly, there is another court hearing which is happening today in America, obviously, so I think it's happening like right now.
Yeah. Wow.
As of this recording, the 28th of October for us, same date for America. And the preliminary hearing is scheduled for January 5th, 2022. Something extremely creepy that I want to mention is hours before he would commit the shooting on October 21st, he posted a video to his Facebook doing an impression of both the characters Tony Montana and John Wick. Which,
yeah,
that is fucked up. And that's Ali. That's it. So this is someone that I knew this person. I didn't know them personally or
followed them.
Wasn't really following them. I didn't know their name, but I knew them
Right.
from their videos. Like how I said,
Yeah.
big fan of Skyrim. I like the videos.
Yeah.
Huge
Wow.
following on TikTok. Fucking murdered his wife.
That's wild.
Yeah, insane. So yeah, and so this is happening. This happened literally days ago.
It's happening like now.
It's happening right now.
Yeah.
So this case is as fresh as can be. Like it's literally happening this month.
Jesus.
And so the trial is happening as we speak right now. I think because he pled not guilty, it's sort of extended. Obviously, everyone involved, the family, whatnot, are probably fucking distraught. It's insane. But yeah, that's
wow.
JinnKid.
Shit.
Yeah, which I imagine the fucking TikTok will promptly be taken down if it hasn't already. But
I don't know if like they're allowed to though. That's the thing. Like I don't know if TikTok can just. I don't know. It might.
They
be.
can.
Yeah.
There is, which we'll probably talk about one day, a TikTok profile called Jonathan G, which won't spoil anything because it's a very interesting case that I might go into one day. But due to the what it led to, it got taken down.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my case.
Wow. Very cool.
Let's
Well,
dive
I'm
right into yours.
jumping back in time.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be talking about the story of the disappearance of Tavish Sutton. So on March 9th, 1993, nurses checked the room of baby Tavish Sutton. Tavish was living with foster parents at the time as his mother Wanda suffered from schizophrenia, and so she was deemed unfit by the state to keep Tavish as well as her 3 other children, so they were taken into foster care. So Tavish was taken from his mother at just 1 week old, and his first few weeks with his foster parents passed by completely uneventfully. They seemed to love him. He seemed very happy. At 1 month old, he was admitted to Grady Memorial Hospital as he needed a very minor surgical procedure on an abscess that he developed.
Right.
But due to his age, because he's only about a month old at this time, he's kept over the weekend just for observation to make sure he doesn't get an infection.
Very
Obviously,
typical.
very susceptible to
Yep.
things at that age. So he's placed in a semi-private room in the pediatric section with one other infant. And the last time his foster parents saw him, he was sleeping peacefully. Nurses did rounds every 15 minutes, checking the infants to ensure they were doing well. At 6:45 a.m. on March 9th, a nurse checks Tavish and finds both him and the other infant in the room sleeping peacefully. When the same nurse returns 15 minutes later, Tavish was gone without a trace. So after frantically checking with other staff to just ensure, someone hadn't, like he wasn't crying, so someone's picked him up and is walking him around the hospital, or he had an appointment or a checkup that just hadn't been noted down correctly, it becomes apparent that he has been taken. So Atlanta Police Department are immediately notified, as are his foster parents. The suspicion obviously immediately falls on his biological mother, Wanda, but she's quickly ruled out as she has also been in hospital admitted for her schizophrenia. So she was literally not
has an
capable.
alibi.
Not only did she not know that Tavish was in the hospital, but she was also in hospital herself. Wanda's family are also interviewed, but they too are eventually ruled out. Police also interview the family of the baby that Tavish had been sharing the room with, but they are also subsequently cleared after questioning. Police appeal to the public, telling people to look out for any friends or neighbours who suddenly have new babies with them. It's like, wow, I didn't even know Cheryl next door was pregnant and now she has a baby.
Yeah, there's screaming coming from next door.
Also paired with this by the fact that at this stage, Tavish is a month old. So they're saying, look out for someone who has a, quote, newborn that doesn't look like they're a newborn. Tavish was quite big for his age as well.
Ah, interesting.
So they're like, if someone's saying that they have a newborn baby and it looks older, please let us know. After 8 days with no signs of Tavish, police are officially worried, fearing that someone has taken him from the hospital to masquerade as their own child, potentially a woman who'd been lying to her spouse about being pregnant and had been waiting around the pediatric unit for a baby to be unoccupied that she could essentially take home as her own. So in the state where Tavish goes missing, there's also something where if you have a home birth, you can go to the county clerk and apply for a home birth certificate. So police are also concerned that someone has taken Tavish and they're going to go to the county clerk and be like, yeah, I just had a home birth. I need to get his birth certificate, and essentially then get away with the crime forever because they've got an entirely different birth certificate. So police note that the average return rate for these types of kidnappings is 65% and normally occurs within 2 days of the abduction. However, at this stage, it's been 8 days. On March 19th, police released sketches of 2 women that they were interested in talking to in relation to the case. One woman being seen carrying a baby out of the hospital around the same time Tavish went missing, and another woman who had been seen kind of loitering on the floor where he was being kept for observation. However, these women were never identified, never found, and never questioned, and a month after his abduction, police were no closer to finding the baby. The speed in which babies change at this age made it all the more difficult. Having only been a month old when he disappeared, at this stage, Tavish has technically doubled in age, and depending on how fast he'd grown, could look completely different. The FBI eventually gets involved, interviewing hundreds of people during the first few weeks of the investigation. A $10,000 reward is offered for any information leading to the recovery of Tavish, and flyers are posted all over the area. Despite all of this, though, relatively few tips are actually even received, let alone credible leads, and Tavish's whereabouts remains unknown. With all leads exhausted, the case soon goes cold. 2 years after his disappearance, Tavish's birth mother, Wanda, sues the hospital for negligence and is eventually awarded out of court $600,000. 5 years after his disappearance, a rough-aged composite sketch is released to the public. However, no credible leads are found, and as of today, the case of missing baby Tavish Sutton remains completely unsolved.
Wow, what a tease.
So they have no idea if he was abducted by someone and is quite happily
Just
living his life, not
life.
knowing how he came, thinking that the parents are his birth parents. They don't know if he passed away because they were saying there was a very high risk of infection for a baby that young, so close to having, as minor surgery as it was, at that age, you basically have no immune system.
Well, and they need to be monitored, as you said, 15 minutes, every single 15 minutes.
So it's just he kind of disappeared into thin air.
Crazy.
And was never found. There were never any real credible leads for them to even follow. And the case has just been completely cold since then.
It is bizarre that someone can, somewhere where they check up on a baby 15 minutes, you have to imagine they would have some pretty strict, rules with people
You would think
in.
so, but apparently this hospital, they were just letting anyone wander in, taking babies.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
syringes.
I'm kind of like, when I read the part about the mother being
lawsuit.
awarded $600,000, I'm like, good, because clearly it was negligence. Like, it should not be that easy to walk into a hospital and take a baby.
I hope the nurses weren't blamed, because it seems like they were doing their job and checking up on the kids every 15 minutes, but like there should be something where it's like you're checking the people that are coming into the fucking hospital.
Yeah.
Like whenever we go to the hospitals, it's like you have to check in at the front desk no matter what you do. And that's fucking stock standard.
But yeah, so that is a rather sad one of a little baby that went missing and was never found.
Yeah.
But also it does kind of seem, you know, Tavish was African American in the 90s, so it does bring into question, you know, missing white woman syndrome.
Yeah.
Was it a white baby?
Did police give a shit enough
Would more people have cared? Would the
Yeah.
public have cared? Would there have been, you know, because everyone knows about the Lindenberg baby.
Yeah, of course.
He was a baby who was snatched and he
Yeah.
was a white baby.
Or
And
even in Australia, the dingo baby.
again, a white
that mystery,
baby.
yeah.
That made international headlines.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Tavish Sutton was one that I had never heard of until today.
Yeah, it does call into question that quite a bit. I mean, think of the countless cases we've gone over where it's like, even just not even African American, but like homosexual, even, yeah, it's one of those things where like, at the amount of cases we've gone through, it's definitely a thing.
100%.
And it's really sad and pathetic that that's where we were and still are.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of shit.
Yeah.
That was, what, 20, 30 years ago, and
We
what's
haven't really
changed?
changed at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like gotten worse in some respects.
Yeah.
And gotten better in some respects, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that pretty much wraps up our little On the Rocks episode.
Yeah. We've got a few more minutes if we want to just close out and give people our socials and
Yeah.
whatnot.
If you're new around here, you can follow us on social media. We are at the BSC podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I made my debut on the BSC
She
TikTok
did.
this week.
Yes.
Someone left a comment saying, "You look exactly like you sound." And I was like, thank you.
It is.
I don't know if that was a compliment.
Yeah. Yeah. It is a weird sort of thing where it's like, is that a good thing?
Because it could literally be either like, oh, I always thought from your voice that you sounded like an elegant, beautiful woman and you look like an elegant, or they're like, you sound like white trash and you also look like it too.
I'd go with the first one.
Thank you. I think you're a bit biased though. I do have pretty bad vocal fry, so maybe...
But I don't think that's a Bogan thing.
I don't know.
Or a Australian hillbilly thing. I think it's just a person by person thing.
If you were the person that wrote that comment, please
Elaborate,
let me know either
yeah.
way, because
Email us at
it's going to keep me up at night.
email us or inbox us.
bestservedcoldpodcast@gmail.com.
We need clarification.
Look, if it was an insult, that's fine. I'll
Yeah.
take it. Whatever. I've got thick skin.
Yeah.
But I need to know because it will keep me up otherwise.
So far, I've gotten 2, I think, comments about my appearance. One was that my eyes are amazing, and the second
have
was
nice
that I
eyes.
look like Jesse Kempson. So, and that was enough to make me just quit fucking TikTok altogether. I was like, I don't want to look like that at all.
How do you spell his... I want to know.
Jesse, so J
Okay,
J-E. Okay.
Hang on, I'm pulling it up.
So
You look nothing like him.
just for reference, Jesse Kempson is Maori, and I am also Maori,
That's racist.
which is just like,
You literally look nothing
I know.
like him.
So I was kind of like, are you just like looking at two pictures of like Polynesian guys and going, you guys look similar?
Like, not even
Yeah.
like a little bit.
Maybe it was racism.
He kind of looks like your dad a little bit too.
He does, yeah. My dad looks way more Māori than I do because I have a mix of Maltese in me as well.
But no, I don't see that at all.
Yeah.
It's like when people tell me I look like Saoirse Ronan and I'm like, thank you. I don't see it
Yeah.
remotely, but that's really nice of you.
Maybe you just don't
She's
want to
really
see
pretty.
it. Maybe you just need to
Maybe I
live-
just have low self-esteem.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe I'll put a poll up. Maybe am I that... We'll put one up asking if I look like this beautiful actress, and then we'll put one up asking if you look like a murderer.
What? I don't want to. No.
You look nothing like him.
Thank God.
Like,
But we should do that.
nothing
We should
like
get
him.
celebrities and be like, vote on which one we look more like the A/B.
Because I get a lot of weird ones where I'm like, thank you so much, because that person is stunning.
Yeah.
But I look nothing like it. And I show you, and sometimes you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I got Victoria Pedretti, the chick Love from You, and I was like, she's beautiful. So, I mean, I would love...
I do get
Really?
that slightly.
I don't see it.
I think it's more so in your mannerisms and your fashion style. I see, and it's specifically love in you.
Thank you.
Not the
Specifically
murderous...
when she's murdering people.
No, but like what I mean is the fashion style
Yeah.
kind of thing.
But no, I get Saoirse Ronan a lot.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I should just take it as a compliment, but I just look at photos of her and I'm like, I don't see it. But anyway, this got really off track.
Yeah, anyway. So we are the BSC podcast on all things social. Send us... Laura has started doing the pet posting every
I can't promise it will be weekly. I'm going to stop saying I'm going to do it every week.
Okay, so Laura, she's not going to do it weekly, but we're going to do it...
Still send me, because I get to it eventually.
Yeah. And we've gotten so many submissions as well. It's really cool.
So keep sending your pet pics. If you've already submitted, please resubmit.
Yeah.
You can never send us too many pet pics, even if you don't want us to post it.
These are fully solicited
Send photos
pet pics.
of
Any
your pets.
Any pet you have. Even if you have a tarantula.
The only cock pic I would ever accept.
Hey,
get it?
If you have a rooster, that'd be sick. Show us.
An actual rooster.
Yeah,
I don't want any dick pics.
Don't send dick pics.
No dick pics, just cock pics.
Unless your pet's called Dick.
And then you can send
Then you can send a dick pic.
And that would be a pretty funny joke.
That would be
You can
really
be like,
hilarious.
here's my dick pic, and it's your cute dog.
We would definitely share that.
And you get like a prize. I don't know.
Yeah,
We
you
don't
get
have
our
anything to do.
appreciation.
You get our respect.
Which is
very
severely
hard to earn.
underrated.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. We're going to wrap this shit up.
Yeah,
We will catch you guys on Wednesday. If you are listening to this on Friday, we hope you have a fabulous weekend, and we will catch you next week. And it's a short goodbye for the short show.
Bye.